Well, we've talked a lot about pesticide safety on the show this year, and I have one more thing that I want to bring up. Now, before some of you turn me off because I'm talking about pesticides and you may not use pesticides, what I'm about to tell you also applies to both synthetic and organic types. There's a lot of things we need to keep in mind. Even though it's organic, sometimes the application and the mixing processes, those are just as toxic as some of the synthetics. Now, a lot of you have already put the sprayers away and you're not spraying anymore, but there's still one more household chore that we need to keep up with before we finish the season out. Now, the first thing I want to remind you is if you're using pesticide sprayers, what you need to do is label them separately. Like we've done here, we use one just for herbicides, and it's labeled this way, and this one is labeled for insecticides and fungicides, and we don't interchange them. Now, all of those are pesticides, but we keep them separate. A lot of people will just mark on them with a marker, and sometimes storing them over the winter, those fade and you're liable to get them mixed up. So make sure they're labeled properly before you put them away for the winter so you don't get it messed up next year. Now, after each spraying application, you need to triple rinse this container. And we've already sprayed out our chemical, and what you want to do is fill up the sprayer about 1/3 full, which we've done with water. And you want to make sure you agitate it around so you're trying to get all the pesticide, and go ahead and pump some of the water through the hose to clean out the pesticide or the insecticide or fungicide, whatever you're using. Now, once we've got it cleaned out, do we dump that water out after the first rinsing? And the answer to that question is no. And most people dump it out in concentrate still, which causes a risk. That's why you don't want to put too much water to clean it out, and what you're supposed to do is spray it back on whatever you were spraying before. Now, I would caution you on that. If you're spraying, say, a tomato plant for some insects and you come back with this diluted down in a lot of water, you're liable to wash off your insecticide. So go to some other plants you've not sprayed or spray it out on the lawn, but you can't pour it out in concentrate. Now, if you're using a herbicide and you spray it on the lawn like Roundup, you're liable to kill it. So think about what you're spraying and how you're cleaning it out. But the first mix that you rinse out, spray it out, then you need to do that 2 more times with just clear water again, rinsing it out, and after the second time it's okay to go ahead and pour because it's mostly water, pour it out. Now, once we've done that after each spraying throughout the year, we're keeping it in pretty good shape. But now that it's going to be put up for the winter, I would encourage you to do one more thing, and that is clean it out a little bit more with a detergent. And what you can use is either a soap or a detergent, either one, and just put a few drops in the container. And you don't want to do more than a tablespoon to a gallon because it'll get too sudsy. And we've got the third water again, and you want to agitate it up, run some of the soapy water through the sprayer once again, and get some of the sudsing through. Now, the whole purpose of this is, remember, soap and detergent acts as a surfactant. So any pesticide that's in any of the cracks or crevices or in the particular areas, it's going to pull it away from the surface and just suspend it in the soapy solution. Same thing again, you need to spray it out. Now remember, soap is not going to really hurt your lawn. Then after you do the soapy solution 2 more times with water, make sure it's rinsed out, and it should be ready to store up in the garage or wherever you're going to put it for the winter months. That's very, very important on the containers. Now, a lot of times at the end of the season we have finished products. What do you do with those? Well, you don't just put them in the trash. You need to follow the directions. On ready to use, once it's empty, you would triple rinse it with water too, pour water in, agitate it, and because it's ready to use, you could spray it on that particular area. With concentrates, you would put in about 1/3 water, mix it around, and then pour it in a sprayer and hold it, let it drain for about 30 seconds, and then come back, add more water 2 times. So you're doing it 3 times total, but each time you're putting it in the sprayer, which, remember the rules on it, you have to spray it on the ground again. Because if you put it down a drain or direct concentrate, it's higher percentage than you normally mix, and it can hurt it. Then follow the directions, because some of them say you can wrap up a newspaper, put out with the trash, and just read the label. It will tell you what you need to do. Now, if you want some more information about these types of things, there's a new leaflet available at your county extension office, leaflet 239, that gives some good pointers and tips on these things we've talked about, plus some more things on hose and sprayer safety, and you can get some bulk of these if you need to hand them out at programs or whatever. But ask for proper rinsing is a key, leaflet 239 at any of your county extension offices. And remember to do these last minute chores before you put them up for the winter so you've got everything ready for next year's use.